welcome to another Plaid Stallions toy venture. It's October, and I'm all about monster toys. So this week we're going to talk about a quirky little line that I absolutely adore, and that is the Tomland Monsters of Legend, or as collectors know them, the Tomland Mini Monsters. Tomland was, I believe, a UK-based company that was somehow wrapped up into other companies like Dundee Combex and even Marks in the United Kingdom. They are famous to 70s children for their various knockoff action figures in the Mego style. Some of the famous series they had were Creature from Other Worlds. This is an obvious knock at the Mego Star Trek aliens. Famous Monsters of Legends. This is an 8-inch line that included Yeti, the Fly, and Morlocks. Basically, monsters no one else was doing at the time, and I think that's why they're so popular. Most famously, though, they combined all these characters and added a whole bunch of new ones for a toy line called Star Raiders. This was an attempt to cash in on Star Wars. Tomland got pretty far with this line, and it probably confused some grand people into thinking they were buying Lucas properties. If I had to guess, I'd say Star Raiders is probably Tomland's most popular line on the secondary market. There's a lot of people looking for these characters. Somewhere around the early 1980s, they released 12 different PVC figurines, mainly based on different characters from their other series. You have versions of Ah and Yik with their names from the Star Raiders. You have the Morlock and the Yeti from the first wave of famous Monsters of Legend. Also, you have a skeleton and a weird little guy that looks like Spider-Man. I don't know what the deal with him is, but he's very popular. However, I mainly want to focus on the 6 monsters they released in the series. Tomland would famously do a second set of famous Monsters of Legend in 1980 that glowed in the dark. They reprised the 4 characters they did previously, but also included Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, and the Mummy. The weird thing about these is the designs would strongly resemble the monster action figures released in the mid-1970s by another company called Lincoln International. We have no idea if these companies were connected in some way, but there is no mistaking those similarities. And in the 6 PVC monsters, they copy the entire Lincoln International lineup. You not only get the previously mentioned Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, and the Wolfman, but also the usually excluded Hunchback of Notre Dame and the Phantom of the Opera. Their designs kind of bridge the gap between the Lincoln 8-inch figures and the Tomland ones. Sometimes it's really obvious, like the Wolfman here, and then not so much with some of the other characters, like Frankenstein. 2 things I just want to mention that really don't make any impact, but Frankenstein really looks like Kramer from Seinfeld, and the Phantom looks a lot like Dwight Schrute from The Office. Do with that what you will. According to conversations I've had with collectors, these were sold in both the United Kingdom and in North America. UK fans have told me these were commonly sold in the newsagents, which were an amazing network for weird knockoff toys. The UK never ceases to amaze me with this stuff. They seem to have been sold as Monsters of Legend on this large card back, but also there's been found with this card back that just says Horrors. I don't know the cadence or the timing of these lines. There literally aren't any known records or catalogs, so we're working a bit blind here and just trying to piece information together. On the collector market, these are really desirable, with individual figures selling for $200 plus, depending on the characters. As for carded figures, all I can say is they go for much, much more if they ever pop up. I'm content not to have an entire set here. Believe it or not, I don't collect the Star Raiders line of toys. I just appreciate them from the sidelines. The only reason I own the skeleton character is because he came in a lot I purchased. I intended to flip him, and my very young daughter named him Skelly and kind of fell in love with him, so that was it. I fully intend one day to make an 8-inch custom Tomland figure of Skelly for her. I'm totally fascinated by stuff like this. Little toy lines that were just thrown out there with no fanfare, no commercials, no advertising at all, and they were just made to be have a quick buck and then forgotten about. What's your favorite toy line like this? Just forgotten dollar store trash. I want to hear from you. You can hit me up in the comments below, obviously, or you can hit me up at Twitter at Plaid Stallions. We have a growing Facebook group called Pod Stallions, and I hope you'll join. I will leave the link below. Please let me know. Thanks as always for watching. I really appreciate it. Until next time, have fun.